The people who smile at you the most are sometimes the ones plotting your fall the hardest. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner, and what you call loyalty, they might just be studying. Here's the truth. People rarely show you their darkness all at once. It comes in fragments, subtle shifts, unspoken tension. But if you don't learn to see the signs, you'll learn the hard way when the damage is already done. This isn't about becoming paranoid. It's about becoming precise. Because the more emotionally intelligent you get, the harder it becomes for the manipulators to hide. And by the end of this video, you won't just sense bad intentions, you'll see them for what they are, with clarity. Before we dive in, I've left one question in the comments. What was the moment you realized someone around you was working against you? Your story might wake someone else up. Go check it out after the video, or drop your own. Let's build this space into something real. Not all evil looks like evil. Sometimes it looks like charm, like compliments, like just being honest. These are the 5 behaviors that reveal someone's darker intentions, long before the damage is visible. 1. They weaponize your vulnerabilities. Tell me what's hurting you, so I know exactly where to stab when I get tired of you. They don't say it out loud, but that's the energy. Let's slow this one down, because this is how most people get emotionally blindsided. You meet someone, you feel seen. Finally, someone listens. They ask you deep questions, they lean in, and you start to open up. You share that one story you rarely tell. You talk about your father's absence. You confess your doubts. You reveal where you feel small. And in the moment it feels good. Safe even. Like someone is finally holding space for your pain. But here's the red flag you miss. They never really give anything back. You were exposing, they were observing. You were healing, they were studying. That wasn't intimacy. That was surveillance. Ask yourself, when I opened up, did they meet me with their own scars? Or did they just take mental notes? Because someone who truly cares will respond with shared humanity, not silence, not strategic empathy. They won't just remember what hurt you, they'll guard it. But someone with dark intentions, they hold on to your pain like a weapon in storage, waiting, and they wait patiently, until an argument, until a disagreement, until the moment you say no to something they want. And then they reach back and bring up that one time. The thing you thought was sacred. The thing you thought was safe. Well, you're always insecure anyway. You overthink, just like you told me you did. Isn't that what your ex said too? And suddenly, what you thought was intimacy becomes ammunition. That's not love. That's emotional warfare. It's easy to miss because the shift is often small at first. A passive-aggressive comment here, a joke with too much bite there, a look when you're vulnerable, but underneath the message is the same. I heard what broke you, and I remembered it. Not to protect you, but to have power over you. And that is the clearest sign of someone who is not safe for your soul. So what do? You don't have to shut yourself off to the world. You just have to learn to test for safety before giving away access. Vulnerability is sacred, but it's not free. It's not something you hand out just because someone's paying attention. It's something you offer to those who prove, over time, that they can carry it without dropping it, or using it against you. So start asking, do I feel lighter or heavier after I share with them? Do they bring it up in love, or throw it back in pain? Do I feel safer the more I speak? Or do I now regret saying anything at all? Because a person's true character is shown not when you're strong, but when you're raw. That's when their intentions are exposed. Take a moment. Is there someone in your life right now who knows the worst things about you, but makes you feel worse for having shared them? You don't need to confront them today, but you do need to see it, because awareness is the first layer of protection. Remember, just because they listened doesn't mean they loved. Some people listen like locksmiths, not companions. just trying to figure out how to get inside. 2. They disguise control as care. I just want what's best for you. That's how it starts. But over time, what's best begins to look suspiciously like what they want. This kind of behavior is harder to detect because it's wrapped in kindness. It looks like love. It sounds like support. But when you listen closely, it feels like control with good branding. Let's break this down. They give you advice, often unsolicited. They question your choices, always with a smile. They want updates, constantly. They need to know where you are, who you're with, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. And if you don't share, they act hurt, offended, like you broke something. And so slowly you start adjusting. You call more often. You check before making decisions. You filter your dreams through their comfort zone. It doesn't feel like control at first. It feels like closeness. But closeness that costs you your autonomy is not love. It's domination dressed in affection. Think about this. Have you ever felt like someone's support came with invisible strings? Like their help was a contract you didn't know you signed? Because here's the truth. Real care wants you to grow, even if it means growing away from them. Control wants you close, predictable, dependent, even if it crushes you. Let's go deeper. There are 3 tactics controllers often use under the mask of care. 1. Guilt as guidance. They don't force you, they just make you feel bad when you choose something they didn't suggest. I just don't understand why you do that when I'm here trying to help. Translation: obey me, or feel like you betrayed me. 2. Invalidation, disguised as advice. You bring an idea to them, something you're excited about, and they instantly pick it apart. That's risky. Maybe you're not ready for that yet. That's not really you, is it? Over time, you stop bringing your ideas. You start shrinking to fit the version of you they approve of. 3. Surveillance as concern. They want access to everything. Passwords, schedules, decisions. And if you hesitate, what are you hiding? As if boundaries are betrayals. But here's the wake-up call. Someone who's threatened by your independence isn't protecting you. They're containing you. Let me ask you a hard question. Do you feel free around them? Or just safe because you're obedient? There's a difference. Safety based on silence isn't safety. It's self-erasure. It's trading your voice for their validation. And you'll never feel fully alive in that dynamic. So how do you know if it's real care? Real care listens without correcting. It supports without steering. It celebrates your autonomy, not just your alignment with their agenda. If someone only shows up for the version of you they can influence, that's not love. That's management. And your soul wasn't made to be managed. It was made to grow. Start noticing who claps when you choose differently. Start noticing who stays close when you create space. Because the people who truly care don't clip your wings to keep you near. They stand back and still cheer when you fly. 3. They keep score, even in silence. Love doesn't tally, but people with dark intentions do. They may not say it out loud, but they're keeping track of everything they've ever done for you, and everything you didn't do in return. At first it feels generous. They're the type who goes out of their way for you. They help, they give, they show up. And you, being a good person, feel grateful. But then something shifts. One day you say no, or you set a boundary, or you don't reciprocate the way they expected. And suddenly, their kindness starts sounding like a debt collector. After everything I've done for you, wow, I guess I was just there when you needed something. You're welcome for all the times I dropped what I was doing to help you. And now you feel guilty, like you owe them, like their love was a loan you were supposed to pay back in full. That's not generosity. That's manipulation with a polite face. But what makes this dangerous? They don't always confront you. Sometimes they just go silent. They pull away, their energy changes, and you're left wondering what you did wrong, even though you did nothing wrong. Because this kind of person won't always express their resentment. They'll leak it through passive-aggressive silence, backhanded comments, a shift in tone. You can feel it, even when they say everything's fine. And what's worse, they'll make you feel like the selfish one for not matching a score you didn't even know they were keeping. Here's the deeper truth. People with dark intentions give with expectation. And when their unspoken expectations aren't met, their true motives leak through. They didn't help because they cared. They helped because they thought it gave them leverage. Do I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around someone who's done a lot for me? Do I feel the weight of invisible expectations just to keep the peace? You're not imagining it. Just sensing the quiet contracts they thought you'd sign with your silence. Let's get even more real. A person who keeps score doesn't truly respect your autonomy. They only respect your compliance, uses their past kindness as a future weapon. A you owe me sword. They can swing when they feel insecure, views every act of love like a transaction. If I do X, then you must do Y. But love doesn't sound like that. Love says I give because it's who I am, not because I need control over who you are. Let me challenge you with something. Who in your life do you feel indebted to? Not because they told you directly, but because their energy keeps reminding you. That feeling, that emotional debt, that's not love. That's control in disguise.
You don't owe people loyalty for favors that came with fine print. You don't owe lifelong access to someone just because they once showed up. The people who truly love you don't keep score. They build with you, and real builders don't invoice you every time they bring a brick. 4. They celebrate you until you outgrow them. Some people only clap for you as long as you're beneath them. The moment you rise, they fall silent. Let's be honest. A lot of relationships are comfortable because you're not growing. You're safe to love as long as you're not outshining. You're easy to support as long as you're not evolving past their pace. But growth doesn't just reveal new parts of you. It reveals hidden parts of them. And what often gets exposed is envy. It starts small. You share a win, and instead of excitement, you get dry smiles. A short that's nice. No follow-up. No energy. No real interest. Then the comparisons start. Must be nice to have all that free time to chase goals. Not everyone has the luxury to do what you're doing. Or the classic, you've changed. But changing isn't the crime. Their discomfort is, because here's the truth. Not everyone in your life is clapping because they're proud. Some are clapping because they don't think you'll go far. And once you prove them wrong, they don't know how to handle it. Why does this happen? Because when you grow, especially when you grow internally, you become a mirror. Your progress reflects their stagnation. Your discipline confronts their comfort. Your vision threatens their excuses. And instead of being inspired, they feel exposed. You didn't mean to trigger them. You just started becoming who they pretended they didn't want to be. So what happens? They withdraw. They make subtle jabs. They try to humble you or remind you of who you used to be, as if success erased your soul. Let me ask you something deeply honest. Who got distant when you started doing better? Whose energy changed the moment you stopped needing their approval? That ache you feel, that confusion, it's not your fault, it's clarity. Now here's where it gets even trickier. People with dark intentions don't always sabotage you openly. They do it emotionally. They stop supporting, stop sharing, stop celebrating. They don't need to destroy you. They just hope you shrink enough to feel uncertain again, so they can feel safe next to you. That's not a friend. That's a quiet rival. But here's the Stoic truth. people who are for you even when you're ahead. They don't flinch at your glow, they fuel it, because your light doesn't dim theirs. It reminds them of what's possible. So stop begging people to clap. Stop dimming down so they can stay comfortable. Your growth isn't arrogant, it's aligned. And you don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself just because that's what makes them feel bigger. Real connection grows with you. It doesn't resent your wings. It helps you test their strength. So take this seriously. Some people were never clapping for you. They were clapping for the version of you they thought they could outpace. Now that you're flying, don't look back to see if they're still clapping. Just keep flying. If you've ever had to unlearn blind trust, if you're learning how to build stronger emotional boundaries, this channel is for you. Every video is a mirror and a map. We reflect, we grow, we move smarter. So if becoming emotionally sharper is part of your journey, hit that subscribe button. Let's build the kind of self-mastery that manipulators can't penetrate. 5. They mirror you, but never mean it. Some people don't get to know you. They study you, not to love you, but to become just convincing enough to win your trust. That's the art of mirroring. When someone reflects your language, your values, your energy, not because they share it, but because it gives them access to you. And at first, it feels like destiny. We just click. They just get me. It's like we've known each other forever. But it's not chemistry. It's calculation. Because people with dark intentions know something. We trust people who seem like us. The more aligned they appear, the more we open up, the more we project goodness onto them that they haven't earned. And this is where you get caught. They mirror your humor, your trauma, your opinions, your dreams. They reflect everything, except honesty. Here's the trap. You bond with a version of yourself that's been rehearsed back to you. You're not falling for them. You're falling for your own reflection. And that's what makes this so dangerous. By the time they shift, when their true nature leaks through, you don't believe it. You say, but they're not like that. They'd never do that. You defend them with the version they showed you, not the one they've become. Why? Because the emotional blueprint they used was yours, and rejecting them now feels like rejecting yourself. Ask yourself right now, do I know someone who seems perfect? Too perfect? Like they're always just right for every situation? Do they always agree? Never challenge, echo your words almost verbatim. That's not connection, that's performance. And performance always ends when the actor gets what they came for. Let's go deeper. There's a kind of manipulator who doesn't overpower you. They become you. They listen without sharing. They affirm without questioning. They make you feel safe without ever being real. And when conflict finally comes, they become cold, distant, unrecognizable, because the mask drops and you realize there was no real person behind it. Just a strategy. Let me ask you something hard. Have you ever looked back at someone you trusted and realized they never really revealed anything about themselves? Their likes, their flaws, their inner world, or did they just mirror yours? Here's the Stoic truth. Trust isn't built through similarity. It's built through truth. Real people disagree sometimes, share their shadows, tell you what you don't want to hear, because they value you, not just your approval. If someone always makes you feel right, it might not be love. It might be manipulation by reflection. The people worth trusting are the ones who bring their own mirror, not the ones who steal yours and pretend it's theirs. Don't fall for the echo. Listen for the real voice. Because once someone mirrors their way into your heart, they don't need to break in. They already have the keys. Discernment isn't cold-hearted. It's self-respect with eyes open. You don't have to hate anyone, but you do have to protect your peace. Because your soul is expensive, and the wrong person will drain it. Slowly, daily, smiling the whole time. So learn to see, not with fear, but with clarity. Not everyone who walks with you walks for you. You're not paranoid. You're evolving. See you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay steady, and never apologize for protecting your peace.